Hi, I'm Vicki with ROI Windows and Doors, and I wanted today to show y'all a demonstration about how we install our windows because sometimes it's difficult to understand just in words. So we built this wall to kind of show you the construction of a typical brick, stone, or stucco house with aluminum frames. When it comes to that type of construction, we do what's called retrofit installation. It's also called frame jumping. It is one of the only two AAMA approved methods for replacing windows in brick, stone, or stucco with the aluminum frames. One method is to do a 9-inch tear back, and that's where you actually remove the brick and go back to the nail fin, take off the original window and put a new nail fin on, reattach it to your vapor barrier, and put the brick back up. You can imagine that can be very difficult with older homes because just matching the mortar, or if the brick cracks, it's very labor intensive. It's a pretty dirty method of doing it, but it is an AA approved method. The other method is called retrofit or frame jumping. That's what we do. Now, in the Central Texas area, it's not against code to pull frame, but that's what everybody else is going to do, and I'll show you that in a minute. So when they originally built your home, they framed out the windows and the doors, but they framed out the windows with 2x4. So they took a nail fin window, and you can see the flange is in the center of the window frame. So this is your whole window frame. This is the nail fin. And when they put that up on your 2x4, they screwed it or nailed it into the framing. And then, as you can see in this picture over here, you're familiar with Tyvek, where they wrap the house with this moisture barrier. It's a vapor barrier to try to keep water from getting inside your home. So even back in the 50s, they used tar paper. But the whole point was to get one watertight envelope for your home. So once they put your nail fin window on, then they took tape, and they take tape that goes from this flange, from this part of the window, to connect it now. Now it's connected to the vapor covering the entire perimeter of your house. And then of course they put on the stone or the masonry, whatever. And so imagine there's brick here. So underneath this brick, your nail fin flange is in there. But now the only way that water should be able to get in your home is if you literally open a window or a door. What everybody else does, and it is not against code, but it is not best practices, and we would never do this to our home, so there's no way we would do it to your home. But again, to the pictures, what everybody else is going to do is they're going to take this aluminum frame and they're going to collapse it and they're going to pull it out of the wall. Now imagine this isn't here, but you can see that's going to tear this vapor barrier. There's no way to prevent it, and there's no way to repair it other than the 9-inch tear back that I talked about earlier. So this will show you what they do. So this is where they've actually collapsed the frame and they pull it out, and this is what you're left with. And there's actually a void here where your nail fin used to be. So what they do then is they're going to take a block frame window, which is actually the same thing. It's a window like this, but it has no flange. So it's just flat. It looks like a box. So there's no fin at all. And they put that in there and nail it in. So there's a lot of problems with that. One, now you've torn that vapor barrier, and we've actually come against houses that when they've pulled the frame, you can see it like held on to some of the Tyvek or the tar and pulled that insulation and the Tyvek out of the wall. So you don't know how far back you've torn it. So now you've opened up your house to water. Now, the reason we do it the way that we do is because in California, it's against code to pull frame. The reason that they stopped pulling frame in California and made it against code was And I'm sorry, but California does not have rain and weather like Texas does. We have that horizontal rain, and we have driving winds, and we have real weather. So, but even in California with their lighter weather conditions, once that barrier was torn, water would get in there. Sometimes you'd see it immediately. You'd see, again, on the inside, you'd see water in the drywall, or sometimes it was more insidious, that it wouldn't really show up for years, and then the framing was rotten. And so the homeowners kind of stuck there with, they call the insurance company. The insurance company said, no, that's a contractor lawsuit. And the contractors were like, no, that's the insurance companies. And the homeowners were stuck in the middle with just massive damage to their house. You can imagine what it would cost to repair that kind of reframing and the drywall and all that. And that's on one opening. Imagine the whole house. So they changed code out there. That's where we first got into the window business. And it made sense once we moved to Texas that if we're not going to do it to our house, we're not going to do it to yours. So we adopted the practices that they do in California, which again is the AAMA approved method. Talked about the 9-inch tear back. What we do is we're going to remove your window sash, all the glass, the crossbars, the entire window system, but we're going to leave this original aluminum frame. We're going to leave that there. That disturbs people, but it's okay. It does not. So what we do, our window comes with, it's called a flush fin or a Z-bar flange. And so you can see, like on a nail fin for new construction, it's in the middle, but on ours it's on the front. So what we're going to do after we remove everything, we're going to take our window. This is, let me be clear, this is an entire window. It's not just a cover, it's an entire structural frame. It's a whole window. The only difference is ours is going to sit just inside of the existing flange. So we install from the outside. It fits just inside. We use 2 levels of caulk in the perimeter on the bottom and on the edges, so you've got a nice watertight seal to your original frame. We spray insulating foam so it's insulated, and now you don't see that frame. It's still in there, but the only purpose it serves is to protect your home. The only reason it's in there is to protect this vapor barrier and to keep that seal. The only downside to our method is you do lose a little bit of view space, because ours does sit right inside yours. We have different windows depending on the style, and if you've got small openings, we've got some really narrow frame windows to maximize your view. In most cases, that little bit of view space that you lose is minimal, and it's the trade-off is you're protecting your home. You're protecting one of the biggest investments that you have, more than likely. Also, from the inside, it's a very clean process. We've come in after people have just redone a bathroom or a kitchen. They've just put down tile, they've just painted or finished the walls, and we come put on our windows. And again, imagine now we're on the inside. When our window comes in, it comes in and we trim it out with flat trim, and it looks like this. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks like the house was built around the windows. It does not look like replacement windows, but it's very clean. It's very protective of your home. And just one more thing about when people pull frame, there's no way to repair that. I've heard people say they shoot foam in there. Well, foam is an insulator. It's not a water barrier. Or they'll caulk it. Well, caulk is meant for a 1/4 inch gap, no bigger than, and you don't know how big that gap is. You don't know how much you've opened your house up to. So we feel like this is the most important part of window replacement. You can have the Cadillac of windows, or you could have the most budget of windows, and if you've installed it incorrectly, either way, you've not only wasted that money that you did spend, it's going to cost you a lot more down the line repairing the water. Water is that everybody knows water is the biggest enemy of your home. As soon as you get a leak, you fix it. Imagine if you tear out your whole window opening. But I hope that makes sense. I'd be glad to show you more if you come to our showroom, or if you allow me to come to your home to give you an estimate. I can go into further detail, but I hope that makes sense. Usually people get an aha moment, and we're very proud of the way that we conduct our business, because when it does rain at night, I sleep very well. I don't worry that I've been damaging somebody's home. So thank you so much. I hope you'll give us an opportunity to do business with you. God bless you.